All right, we have Sam Morrison here for an one-on-one interview. I'm so excited you're coming to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm so excited to come back. It's been a fantastic comedy city for me so far.
Yeah, when was the last time you were here?
Oh golly. I know I'm gonna get it so wrong, but I think it was last fall. And what I'm actually debating is if it was the fall before last fall.
Okay.
So that's how bad my understanding of time is.
Yeah, I think it's challenging for everyone, and we're going to talk about COVID and everything like that too. So let's start off with your pronouns and identity and all that.
Oh, he, him, his.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And you identify as queer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, very good. And then you're originally from New York? Where are you from?
I'm from Florida, actually.
Oh, what part?
Sarasota.
Sarasota. Oh, yeah, I had friends there. Okay, and then how did you get to New York? Was that for comedy or?
Yeah, I went to school in upstate New York, and then after I graduated, I really just moved right to New York City because I have some family roots there. My grandma, she had a house that she just sold, but for a long time there, up in Rockland County, which is right above New York City. And my mom was actually living in the city back when I first moved there, although now she's back down in Florida.
Oh, very good. Okay. And I want to hear about your whole background because it sounds like you use a lot of your, you know, life into your comedy and everything. So just tell me a little bit about yourself as far as what you use in your show.
Yeah, I I talk about a lot of different things in my show. I am gay,
Mhm.
so that's big. That's gonna be huge for this show in Chicago.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I guess like the big identifiers that I actually say in a joke are anxious, asthmatic, gay, diabetic, Jew. So that hits them all. Really just like the sexiest possible options. But I do talk a lot about my diabetes because I got diagnosed 2 years ago, and it was just it's just such a huge part of my life now. And the diagnosis, there's just a lot of humor in the actual story of the diagnosis and then learning how to like cope with it. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know, I just find it so funny, especially because I have these like devices on my body and they feel insane. And I don't know, I'm a comedian, so I go on stage and I complain about everything all night. So I talk a lot about diabetes, and I just, grew up with a big Jewish family um in Florida. And yeah, it's just influenced my comedic style probably in ways that are more subconscious than I realize. I think especially just like this year is kind of the first year that I've really started doing press. And I guess I'm realizing how much that plays into it, like the different, I don't know, the way that people perceive me, I guess, as a gay diabetic Jew.
Right. Well, I've interviewed a lot of comedians over the years, and I used to think sometimes they perform for me and sometimes they don't. So that's the interesting part to interviewing and being in the media for, because like sometimes like Joan Rivers would try out a joke on me and then I wouldn't get it. And then I would go to the show as like, oh my God, how dumb am I? Like, the whole crowd's laughing at her same jokes and stuff. And sometimes they would really be on, like Kathy Griffin on, and then some people are not on at all. Like they would just kind of be themselves, I guess, or, Margaret Cho and that, just different ones. So it's kind of interesting. Sometimes people are really a character and then sometimes they're not. So, you know, just
Yeah,
observation.
I don't know. I think I go back and forth. I was just talking to my friend. I think there's more variation in like my comedic voice than maybe most people, because sometimes I'm like really high energy and then other times I can be quite not. And I think it's the same off stage. I can appear really like introverted and anxious at times. And then other times, I'm just like, I don't know, in my social butterfly moment.
Sure. So tell me about the creation of Sugar Daddy. Where did that, all that came together?
Yeah. Well, Sugar Daddy, it came out of um really a moment of, I don't want to say necessity, but it happened because my boyfriend passed away and I didn't know how to get back into comedy. And I just started I had all these jokes that I was writing as a coping mechanism. And eventually I found the right time and place to do them.
Mhm.
And it sort of, I guess, went well enough to try again. And then it really just sort of organically happened. I stopped doing grief jokes and then I started doing grief jokes. And I eventually got to a place where in January I needed to decide whether I was going to go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in August. And I decided to go with this show that I was going to bring in 2020, which obviously the festival got canceled. And then I just sort of impulsively decided I can't do that show because I'm just not in that headspace. And I am gonna make a different show. And I didn't really know what it was gonna look like, but I came up with this stupid pun that's that would make the show called Sugar Daddy. So I knew the title. And I basically just started doing work in progress shows. It really didn't happen. I've done two other solo shows, and those were very like, I'm gonna think of a concept that will be interesting and fun for me to do, and then I care about, and then I'm gonna write jokes, and then I'm gonna put a structure around it. But this one was more like, you know, it was very more. It came from just like a very different place than those first two.
And really personal. What are the challenges of talking about, the death of a loved one? I mean, how is that? How does that work?
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially at first when it's as a comedian, you have to figure out how to talk about such an intense thing, like to how to sort of prep the audience and get them in the right headspace where they're comfortable laughing at such an intense thing, but you're also just trying to figure out yourself how you are reacting to everything and how you can, remain um how you can not just like remain in control, but also like there's a certain feeling that you're chasing that is so satisfying when it works. Um, and it's like it's so helpful and it's so yeah, just like a positive experience when that happens. And so you're really just trying to figure that out. I guess what I'm trying to say is you're trying to figure out the audience, but you're also just trying to figure out yourself um too. So yeah, it's definitely like a very technical thing that you have to try a lot of different ways to
Mhm.
set up, and eventually you find how to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. Seeing what works and what doesn't. What do you think Jonathan would say about your show?
I think about that every time I do it. uh I um yeah, I get emotional whenever I think about that, but I think he'd be very proud of me.
Yeah, awesome. I look forward to seeing it. How are audiences in London compared to the ones here in the United States?
Well, they don't laugh.
Oh no. You're not
No,
getting responses right away.
I'm kidding. There's a different. They're just a little. They're different in culturally, obviously, the references and things like that. But then I feel like there is sort of a difference in the way that they see solo shows, especially like comedic solo shows. Comedic solo shows, I think, are a lot more popular and like a recognizable thing there than they are here. Especially 4 years ago. A lot has happened. It used to just be John Leguizamo and Mike Birbiglia, and now there's Hannah Gadsby, and there's Hassan Minhaj, and there's Gerard Carmichael, and there's all these different people that are doing similar things. Um, but in the UK, it's always been like that.
Mhm.
And so they, I guess, are I don't know how to explain it, but they're just like a little bit more of a theater audience than a comedy audience. When I think of a comedy audience, I think of like a comedy club. I think of like the Comedy Cellar at like midnight on a Saturday, and they're rowdy, and you're just trying to get them to laugh. And a lot of times when you do a solo show in the UK, they can come to it sort of expecting something profound, and theatrical, and that they haven't seen before. And so yeah, it's just a slightly different vibe. I, I don't even know as I'm saying that if I agree with that, but I think in some situations, at some venues, at some parts of town, that's certainly true.
Mhm. Very good. Um, let's see. Is there certain comedians that you have admired? I know you just mentioned some, but
Some comedians that I've admired. Yeah, there's so many. I mean, all my friends. Um, yeah, I mean, people ask me for my favorite all the time, and I always tell them I give a different answer every time. I don't know, but some people that I've been watching lately, Sarah Silverman has been tickling me. Um, I actually am a big Gerard Carmichael fan. Um, Bo Burnham has sort of always been there with me, sort of as we've both grown up,
hmm
and influenced my style. Yeah, and then some lesser known people are Ashley Gavin, Dylan Adler, Nori Davis.
Okay, good. Well, did you see Maestro? Did you see Sarah and Maestro?
No,
You got to get on the Netflix. Yeah,
no.
she's really good. Just smokes a lot in the film. Um, okay. Let's see. Oh, and then you talked about being robbed. Uh,
Yeah.
and I had a similar story to that. So I thought that was really, that resonated with me, the whole getting the guy. I mean, like the guy tried to get my wallet and ripped my pants. And I said, those are my favorite pants. Like our reactions are so crazy in those situations. I really like your
I don't know why that's so funny to me. Those are my favorite pants is a great, great line. I mean, I wish I said that because that would have gotten a much bigger pop. That's of laughter on stage. I mean, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard.
Good, good, good. Yeah. He kind of looked shocked and then he just got up, looked at me puzzled, and just kind of walked away like, okay, this is not a normal reaction. So whatever works to get us out of that. Oh my God. Um, so I also discovered that I'm 1.6% Jewish from ancestry.com. This is like recently, like the last month. What advice would you give to someone just exploring their ancestry like that?
I would say use it and leverage it to get as many free Jewish items from Jewish events that you can go to. I mean, items of food. God damn it. Oh, that would now sound super weird. Just steal Jewish things. That's what I just said. Just go and steal a bunch of Jewish things. No, I just I love the food. So I would say just to explore the food as much as possible.
What's your favorite dish?
Oof, matzo ball soup, latkes. Those are ugh. I mean challah, but like is that a dish? But I could eat it as a dish.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah. Oh,
Hard.
and also we have a large Jewish community here in Chicago, so we have to get them, to come out from a lot of times populated in Skokie, and Kathy Griffin always capitalized on that. So there we go. Okay, Jewish is your audience. Let's see. What's your New Year's resolution for the new year?
I do not have one.
Okay.
We're just sort of gonna regress into toxicity in 2024.
Oh, what about you have a big gay cruise coming up in February, so you've got plenty of, new shows coming out. What do you got working on for the new year?
Yeah, sort of always touring. Certainly, yeah, I've got some other tour dates in the spring coming up. And yeah, I mean, in terms of other projects, I'm writing a TV show. That's actually what I'm doing right now. Um, and yeah, I mean, keep working. I'm continuing to work on Sugar Daddy. I'm really excited. I don't. What I'm trying to think of right now is if I'm going to be doing it in LA, but I don't know if I can say that. So, because I don't believe the announcement will be made by the time this is published, but I'll be doing it in LA in May. So that's super exciting.
Okay, and then maybe like a comedy special of it where people could buy the DVD.
That's the dream.
All right, cool. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, are you going to have anything fun to do while in Chicago, or is this a quick, are you going to head out to
It
the
is a
bar?
quick because I'm headed to Louisville immediately the next day.
Okay. Got it. All right, great. All right. Well, anything else you want to tell people about the show for them to come out and see?
No, I mean, I think it's going to be a fantastic show. And I'm so excited. I haven't done Sugar Daddy in a while, and I've been working on it a lot. And so it'll be a slightly different version than the one that I've done previously. And I'm excited to share it.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I look forward to meeting you at the show. I'll come out and see you and meet you face to face. But thank you for taking time today and doing a quick interview with me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day. All right.
You too.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.